I am going to talk to you about my hands because I'm very reliant on these hands. I've had them all my life and I depend on them. I'm very attached to them. But I want to tell you about something that has been happening for about 20 years. I think I first noticed something in the palm of my hand, on both hands, but only on one at that time. And that was what I thought was perhaps some kind of muscle, some expansion of a muscle or something like that. But I was talking to one of my students when I was working in Texas. That was in 2008. And she said, that's called Dupuytren's contraction, and you've had it for about 10 years. So 2007, we go back to 97, somewhere around there, and that's when it started. And what it is, this finger will not flatten anymore. I can't get it flatter than that. So when I put my hand down like this, it prevents the other fingers from flattening. So if I go to the edge of the bench here, they'll flatten just as normal like with anybody else's. But when I want my hands to flatten like this, it won't happen. So going inside a cupboard, moving a drawer, things like that, I can't get my hand in anymore. Now I've got the same problem on my right hand, and this is on my middle finger, this is on my ring finger. This one is not so bad, so I can go as flat as that, which is still not as flat as I want it to be. So this one will worsen in the same way this one did. This one was probably more like this one 15, 16, 17 years ago. So now we've got to do something about it. So I'm going to have some surgery. What can I do and what can't I do with this? I've got a piece of wood here. If I go to pick this piece of wood up with this hand, I hold it with these fingers, and I tuck the other one right inside. It's out of the way. It still works for me, so if I'm loading it in the vise, you'll see me do this, or if I'm doing something else, if I've got a cup like this is my favorite drinking mug, I can't really comfortably grip it this way because this finger is getting in the way before I get to it. I tend to tuck it in that way and drink that way or carry it that way. So that's what the difference is. If I'm picking up these nails, I would want to tuck that out of the way and pick them up without this finger and without my little finger. So things like that started to creep in, and it started to become more visible, and I thought I should just at least explain to you what's happening. So if I was driving a nail, see where my finger automatically went to then? It went behind the nail, whereas before it would have gone here. Screw this in. I don't hammer my screws in, by the way. But so that's what I'm tending to do. So I'm using the finger less and less, although I had exercised it to try and straighten it out by stretching and things like that. That's not going to work long term. This is contracting all the more. So I went to see a consultant in Derby a few weeks ago, and she said, I think we can help you with that. So they're going to do something with a needle, and they're going to go in and break up these fibers and take these fibers out. They're going to do both hands at once, which means neither hand will be functioning very well. This one will be the more severe one, but it might take a couple of weeks to get my hands back to where I can fully grip again. So I will be out of commission for a couple of weeks, but don't worry because I have enough stock in my videos to keep me going through that period, all being well. So hopefully no infection, no side effects, and I'll be back in the saddle, still making, still teaching, and still taking you on the journey to becoming a real woodworker.